I don't think he'll get picked up here because we are waiting for that jungle pick to come through. And what a replacement is that Kaiser in the jungle. Again, we saw this on the side of Team Vitality. It was one of their biggest picks. Having that Kaiser really sets up a fantastic frontline engage.
Yeah, for sure, and a little bit more confident of the Loops lineup at this point. But the big question is, can they do this Kaiser? Especially if they have to put their eyes on Kaiser, there's going to be tunnel vision. It's hard to deal with the Dharma, and more importantly, it's hard to deal with the Ming and Lady Sun combo as well. So many questions that Loops have to answer. They have a decent early game. Still, once again, Pei, one of the strongest snowballers in the game. Let's see if Loops can do it to tie it 1-1.
Yeah, the Pei coming through here is just as an aggressive pick as the Jing. I'd probably say it isn't as slippery. There is definitely more of a chance of the Pei being caught out, especially with the likes of the Lady Jen, as long as the rotations are there and the support is from the mid lane. Trying to secure those early Azure and Crimson Golems is going to be a little bit more of a difficult feat for the side of Loops Esports. But I mean, LGD looking like they have a solid comp. It's a sustainable comp. It's not like burn bright and then sort of dazzle out very quickly like we're currently seeing on the side of Loop Esports, but they are here to sustain the game, go the distance, and hey, Bruce Lee has joined the Gorge.
Oh yes, for sure. So Bruce Lee, be like water, right? Be formless, be able to deal with any changes, be adaptable. That's the mark of a strong and a true champion as well. Hopefully Loops will be able to pull this game out, tie it 1-1.
Hopefully they can, absolutely. I mean, Pei may be the reason why they're able to do this, given the spirit of Bruce Lee in the Gorge as well. But Pei, most common combo is that ult 2, basic attack 1, and then basic attack. Use the range advantage of his human form to harass the enemies from a distance. Then once their health is low, switch to the tiger form for the kill. And you'll probably see it, especially on a player like ABH. We know that he is silent but deadly.
Yeah, and you take a look at ABH's playing style. He likes heroes that are very mobile. He likes heroes that deal a lot of damage as well. So I think this is a very good synergy of picks. But here we go, maybe potential first blood.
Yep, no, Kanka able to actually dash out there alive. We see the familiar rotations here that we've been seeing for quite a lot of this in the Season 2, where we see... Oh, okay, Robert, let that go on the back burner there. ABH, we said silent but deadly, but he has been loud and clear with that first blood takedown. And then double kill over to Musang King. Like I said in his introduction, Musang King, the king of double kills, and putting some respect on his name in Game 2.
Yep, we were waiting for the deadly, but at this point it's just silence coming out from ABH. Not his fault though, because at this point LGD, they have a pretty significant early game as well. This time when they allow the Kaiser to come through, the Invincible Warrior level 4 makes a huge difference in the way that they can fight. And I like the fact that they put Zuhong going up against Marco Polo, similar to yesterday's games, right? You want AoE against most of these farm lanes. Oh, hang on.
Oh, 3v1 into the clash lane. We saw that getting set up for quite some distance there. We saw that Lady Sun was with the rotation. Siang dashing over the wall for the Dharma. That was just beautifully played by the side of LGD. But this has really made me consider that Game 1 really shook up LGD, because they pick out a pocket pick like the Ming and they're playing so aggressive into Game 2. They're like, oh, we can't pull any more punches, guys. We're in the semi-finals of the Season 2 Invitational. If we doubt the second seed Brazilian team for a second, we could be looking at an L in the semi-finals, which, when you battle it so well this far into Season 2 Invitational, you kind of don't want to go out knowing that you didn't do your best.
Well, actually, there's one positive thing you can take a look at Loops, and which is they managed to pull the respect of LGD. Now they're taking it to the next level.
Oh, okay, speaking of next level, then we could be having another next kill up into the clash lane, but Tempest being able to kick away Dharma, because Pei being quite close by as well. I feel like that 2v1 would have definitely gone into the favor of Loop Esports in the clash lane, and Lord knows they need a kill on the board, because LGD are up with 3 kills there. They're ahead with the gold lead ever so slightly by 1.9k, and again, LGD just playing to their strengths. The Ming pocket pick coming through here. I don't think they've actually picked the Ming up in the rest of the tournament, so this is clearly something they wanted to save for the semi-finals, and something that it's not unusual that we don't see, but it's very rare that the Ming comes through because it's all about sticking to one of these heroes. Ming cannot be reliant on his own. He has to be somewhere with someone.
Yeah, so, playing with the Ming, it requires your draft and your composition to be able to save yourself in the team fights. And it checks the markets for most of the members. In fact, all of the members on the side of LGD. Xiang, of course, 1v1 against Tempest. He's going to have an interesting time, right? Because number one, he has a level advantage. But more importantly, the reason why they're able to play Ming here is because everyone else has survivability in their kits. Yes. There's iframes, there's lifesteal, there's health regeneration, everything makes sense. So that's why the Ming is so potent, so dangerous for the side of LGD.
They say nobody puts Baby in the corner, but LGD with this draft clearly leaves Baby in the corner because all their laners can just self-sustain. Like you said there, Kin, they have escapability, they're able to clear the waves pretty much on their own, and then obviously Kaiser, it doesn't need anybody to hold his hand, but Kank potentially here needing somebody to at least give some assistance, and Mithy was a little bit late there to try and soak up any of that damage or try and bring anything into the favor of Loop Esports. We're seeing that Zeri here was looking to help himself for a little bit of gold, trying to keep a gold or trying to close the gold difference in that farm lane. As we can see that Lady Sun is already ahead by 0.6k.
Yep, and at this point, I don't think the Loops can take any fight consistently, all up to the point where maybe Zeri gets his hands on the Doomsday, right? Because at this point, they won't be able to melt down Musang King, who is having fun once again with Mithy. That's not a sight that Loops want to see for sure.
No, yeah, the team that's ahead having fun, that's a recipe for destruction, I think, kid. Knowing that somebody that's having such a great time in the early game is just trying to still maintain and have fun, that's hard to sort of play around because they're not going to be tense. They are just going to be going with the tempo, and the tempo is clearly here for the side of LGD, taking the T1 turret as the first turret in Game 2 to fall here, which we all know this far, but those at home may not. The mid T1 is detrimental to your team because it opens up those that fall to the T1. Your jungle is now open to the enemy team. You're open to more susceptible ganks as well. But here we are. There is a 4v5 currently going place here. There we go. ABH, like we know him, in Game 2. Taking a kill for the side of Loops and still soaking the damage is the Zhang Fei. Keeping Kank in the team fight, is able to pick off the Dharma as well. So they may take the T1, but it looks like LPS are here to take their Azure Golem and potentially push these T2 in the farm lane.
Yep, love this gameplay by Loops. This is one of the ways to recover as well. Just, ignore the tanky people. Let's just go for the ones that we can burst down, and that's exactly what they did. They got JR the lead button instantly, got the kill, and that changed the whole fight because there isn't a lot of consistent damage. Let's take a look at how that went down.
Yes, look at this beautiful replay, just keeping Musang King away from the squishier heroes on the side of LGD. Loops just know how to navigate this. They have the sat-nav, they have LGD's coordinations, and they know how to navigate that team fight. And that was clearly stated by what we just saw there in the replay. So I think Loops just need to offer a little bit more of that. Some more of that spicy Brazilian flavor of that team fight will keep them definitely considered in this best of 5, but they are going to lose that T1 up into the clash lane. Musang King going in here as well. We're already seeing to the back line of Pei trying to take down one of their high damage dealers, but we see that Miffy is able to give some support. It's all going around. This Azure Golem, they were able to take it though. So Loops not actually losing anything in that team fight, not even an Azure Golem.
Yep, they have to be careful about Mithy. At this point, he does have half his health left, so they can't actually take too many fights unnecessarily at this point. They will try and look for one of the members on the side of Loops.
Yep, Tempest sitting like a, I don't know what in that brush. I mean, I would not want to be there, but luckily for the side of Loops, the LGD just did not have the intel that they need, but pushing back is the Mai, and there's the ultimate shell from Lady Sun coming through, taking down Kanka once again in the Clash lane here, but okay, Tempest coming through. He played the waiting game. He takes down JR and down goes. Oh, okay, no, they're able to escape. I thought Ming, it was going to be a Ming Vase there in that team fight and getting smashed, but no, he was able to flash over the wall as that was a beautiful patience. Patience is a virtue, kid.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Loops displayed it.
Yep,
but okay, patience. Speaking of patience, we saw LGD play the same patient game, picks off the pay, which, to be honest, taking down JR or taking down your enemy jungle now that the second Tyrant is up, I think that is not an equal trade.
Yeah, and you know what? At this point, Loops, I think they might be able to do it here. They do have the Doomsday going to the hands of Zarya already. He's already halfway towards his Bridging Charge as well. He will be able to survive a couple of fights. Right now, it's really about the burst potential coming in from LGD. If they manage to get the best destructive deluge, it might change the game for Loops. But likewise, for the side of Loops, if they're able to, make sense of that combination again, that unbridled outburst into the whatever number one coming out from Tempest, it will change the fight in positive relations for the side of Loops.
Yeah, I mean, already showing into game 2, I feel like the Mai Shiranui may be something they might want to like relax on, because it seems like the Mai Yin's basically taking the function of the Mai Shiranui. Yes, not as much damage, but able to sort of like separate the team fights. It seems like it's been tried and tested a little bit too much here. Mithy taking a lot of damage already in this early team fight without none of his co-dependents nearby, but already resetting. The Tyrant is already looking for a promising start here. Are they going to try and take it, try and combat, and try and go for a Tyrant this time around? Because last game they did not get a single one, but Xiang taking Tempest down the back of the Shadow Tyrant camp as well. So already looking at a handicap team fight if they do decide to take this, but JR doing his macro plays that he's well known for in the farm lane, looking to try and take a high ground turret, which would be at a huge detriment for Loop Esports going into the 11th minute mark.
And this is why LGD is so scary, right? They always make the checkmate plays here. Yes, you know what? We take a look at Mithy's ultimate. Unbridled Outburst still up. We don't commit, right? We don't commit for the Tyrant. We win the fight, we go for the tower. Oh, you're coming for the tower? No worries, we'll go back and take the Tyrant. It's always one step ahead of Loops at this point for LGD.
Red team has destroyed.
Yeah, there's always multiple objectives in their mind, and they are able to keep focus on all of them. They know how this works. It's not their first dance. It's not their first rodeo. And this is showing it in game 2. We saw Loops with some promising engages. We saw Tempest sitting patiently in the brush on the side of the Clash lane, was able to pick off. But speaking of getting picked off here is that higher ground turret in the Clash lane. A lot earlier in game 2 for the side of LGD. And for the side of Loops, they're nowhere near a high ground turret. And Tempest being taken down there by Xiang once again. They've fool me once, but you don't fool me twice on the side of LGD. There is no patiently waiting in the bush. If Mai Yin's not there, they're checking all nearby brushes, baby, because that's not happening again. They fell for it once, and it's not going to happen again on the side of LGD Gaming. And they're already at the Crystal. They're in your home. They are invading. There's Musang King with a great engage, keeping the Mithy away from the rest of his team, and that is game 2 taken by LGD once again.
Yep, what a show of strength coming out from LGD. Very, very convincing gameplay, and you can see, right? Loops at this point, they're